Imagine this. Your consultancy firm is growing month after month. Clients come in consistently, your team is performing without you driving them, and you finally have the time and space to enjoy life again. No more firefighting, no feast famine sales cycles, no more being trapped in the center of your business. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can build a business like this by putting the right strategy, structure, and systems in place, following the same methodology I used to grow and sell 3 of my own consultancy firms after learning how owners of leading consultancy firms scale while achieving greater impact, prosperity, and freedom. The first video was about the mindset shift from operator to orchestrator, because your business can only grow as far as your level of thinking. The second video was about the Vata Model, which is the foundation for breaking through the growth barriers that you might be experiencing now. The third video was about the 4 stages of business growth, from struggle to survival to scalable and saleable. And the fourth video was about your client acquisition engine, looking at the combination of strategy and execution in a way that helps you achieve consistency and predictability about how you acquire new clients. If you want to watch any of those previous videos again, just look below in the description for the links to each of those videos and go back and refresh your memory on those, or watch them for the first time if you haven't seen them. But the key message in each of these videos has been that everything we need to learn is about helping you stop being the operator in your business and start becoming the orchestrator to grow a business that is scalable and saleable. In this video, I want to talk about the freedom formula, which is really about the combination of strategy, structure, and systems. Leading consultancy firms understand the need for strategy and structure before systems. Often, consultancy firms that are smaller in size know that they need to achieve a more efficient business process and have their team working efficiently together. So they fastidiously put together systems about how they do their work. The only problem with this is if you don't have the right strategy in place to enable you to build the right efficient business structure, then the systems you put into place will only embed the inefficiencies that you have within your operations. And that's why a lot of consultancy firms that are, on one hand, looking like they're well organized and quite mature in their processes, are actually inefficient and struggling to be competitive in the market because they have inefficient systems that embed their limitations on how they do the work for their clients. On the other hand, the leading firms understand the need for strategy first, and they understand that when they have the right strategy in place, they can build an efficient business model that enables them to structure their processes effectively, structure the team, structure the connection between themselves and their clients in a way that makes the systems more efficient when it comes to developing those. So what is it that we need to look at here? And we're talking about a freedom formula. So the first part of that formula is strategy. And strategy is really the link between the owner's perspective, if you remember the Vata Model, and you'll see a picture of it here. The owner's perspective helps the owners be clear about the vision, the mission, the values of the organization, as well as the objectives that they have in place, what they want to achieve in their business personally. So the vision and mission, the values, are more orientated towards the contribution they can make to the market. And there's a clear linkage between the owner's perspective and the client perspective that is needed when we develop a strategy. And when we look at strategy, we're looking at who is our premium level client, who are the ideal clients that we need to work with. And that linkage needs to link back to the vision, the mission, the values of our organization, because our vision of what we have to contribute to the market is obviously linked to who those ideal clients are. So we need to, when we're looking at from either the owner's perspective or from the client's perspective, we need to make sure that those two perspectives align so that we are creating a way of working that is effective, because there's a clear alignment between the owner's perspective and the client perspective. So when it comes down to our powerful purpose, we understand who that is for and how we want to position ourselves as an organization. What is the premium or power positioning that we need to be presenting to the market? What is our value proposition that we have to present that aligns our purpose and our premium client persona? Because that power positioning statement, our value proposition, is something that marries those two perspectives together, but also shows our premium level clients what we have to offer them and why that offer is so much different from our competitors, in a way that it really creates a competitive advantage that is, well, really putting our competitors out of the picture, that in a way that really there's no comparison between our firm and our competitors, because the way we've engineered that marriage between the purpose of our business, the premium client persona, and the proposition we have to offer means that we have a totally unique business persona and a business that stands out as being far different and incomparable to others who try to serve the same market. The next part of that freedom formula is the structure of the business. And really, the structure is what creates the linkage between the client perspective and the team perspective, because it's really all about execution and about teamwork and how those two aspects of our formula marry together. Because when we have an effective strategy, we need to execute on that strategy. And that is about the way we deliver value to our clients, and even going before our delivery to clients processes, how we communicate our value to our clients in our marketing processes. And all of that needs to be done in a way that really identifies that the structure of our business is the most efficient and most effective as it can be, so that we're delivering our services in a way that provides quality and value to our clients, but also in a way that our team understands their relationship to our clients and their ability to deliver value and quality to our clients in a way that is as efficient and effective as possible. So that business model that we talked about before in terms of our strategy needs to be fleshed out in our structure. How we structure the way we work with our clients needs to be totally clear, because that sets the expectations for our team. And our team needs clear performance expectations if they, first of all, know what they need to do and how well they need to do it. And those two things are important as far as our value proposition goes, because it's our team that delivers our value. So they need to know what that value is and how well they need to perform their roles to deliver value that delights our clients. And also when we understand what we're trying to achieve in the structure of our business in a way that we're delivering value to our clients, when we're building a business that is ultimately going to be scalable and saleable, we need to remove ourselves from that structure. We need to be able to take ourselves out of that, those operational roles and the areas where we feel like we need to have our hands on to keep things under control. So building an effective structure is a forward-looking process. It is about, again, marrying the execution, the client perspective and the team perspective together in a way that our services can be delivered by our team in a way that makes the business work and work without you, because our objective here is to develop a structure in the business that allows the business to work without us having to make it work. Now, finally, when we have the right strategy in place and the right structure in place, then we can go about systemizing all of the processes that we have in terms of operations and our marketing, our client acquisition processes, our client delivery processes, and also the administration processes that support everything. So the systems part of our freedom formula is the linkage between our team perspective and the owner's perspective, because it comes right back to the objectives that we as owners have established in the first place. They need to be achieved through the delivery of our teammates, and our team needs to be performing at a level where they're delivering value to our clients in a way that achieves our ownership objectives. So the accountability level in our team perspective is what comes into play here, because when we have systems and processes that are standardized and we're able to measure the effectiveness of those, measure performance in those areas, the accountability loop relates to the achievement of those organizational objectives. We need to be measuring performance in a way that relates back to our objectives so that we know whether we're on track to be achieving those direct objectives, or whether we need to change direction in some way to adjust performance or adjust the objectives sometimes. So putting all this into place and having the systems in place creates empowerment for our people to, first of all, know what they need to do and how well they need to do it, which creates a level of autonomy in our business that takes us out of the picture. We don't need to be hands-on involved in the way that we have done in the past. When we have the systems in place that tell our team what they need to do, and we have the performance measures and the accountability feedback loop in place that enables us to know exactly how well they're performing, there's less need for us to be stepping in to adjust, fine-tune, redirect, correct, whatever the activities that we find ourselves doing in putting out fires that are starting in their business because it's not performing the way it should. Having these accountability loops in place gives us the ability to keep our finger on the pulse without being in touch. Now, if you can see an analogy there, instead of having to be the doctor or the nurse who's got the fingers on the pulse of the people, they can be the nurse in the admin room, away from the hospital room, the hospital bed, because your pulse is being monitored by the technology that's in place there that is feeding back your data into the readouts in the control room. That's how you can remove yourself from having to have that hands-on level of control and be able to step back and see the big picture of what's happening with all of your team members, with all of your clients, and with your profit, your sales revenue, your margins, and your efficiency. The productivity of your people, the performance levels of all of your team can be shown in a dashboard display that gives you ability to control your business from a distance instead of having to be hands-on. So the key takeaway here is that when these three aspects align, you have the right strategy, the right structure, and the right systems in place, the freedom you want from your business doesn't have to be a dream anymore. It becomes your day-to-day reality. Now, let me tell you a story of Damien, who went through a program with us. And before that program, he started off with unpredictability, with almost chaos in his business. There was certainly a level of pressure that Damien felt that was keeping him at work for 60 hours a week, over 6 days a week. He never felt any ability to have freedom to take a day off from the business. He was always putting out fires because of the unpredictability of what was happening. And even though the business was doing quite well and was marginally profitable, but enough to pay himself a decent salary, it wasn't giving him any ability to look forward to the future and see this business as a long-term value increasing proposition. It was just a day-to-day income earning operation. So when Damien worked with us, the first thing we did was look at the big picture of what was happening in his firm, looking at where the income was being generated and where the costs were being generated, and understanding the level of products and services that he was providing and which of those were profitable and which weren't. And what we discovered there is because he, in his IT consultancy firm, was offering a wide array of services, almost every possible service that he could be offering as an IT consulting firm, or in fact an IT supply firm, was being offered. And what we discovered was that some of those activities were profitable and highly profitable, whereas some of those services and products he was offering were actually costing him money, costing the business money. They were making a loss to be able to deliver those services. So what we did was came back to this model and identified who were the ideal clients to be servicing, what was the best business model to be servicing them, what was the right structure in terms of what sort of business did he want to be, and how did that apply in the way they worked with their clients. And we ended up eliminating a whole range of products and services from the mix and shutting down one side of the business totally because it was making a loss and actually detracting from the firm's ability to deliver the better services and the more profitable services that they were offering. So when we changed the business model and business structure based on a better strategy, a more productive and effective strategy, we then set about systemizing the way they operated and identifying the right members of the team to be working in the right areas. And we changed the dynamics in that business dramatically in a way that enabled Damien to double his revenue in the business within the first 12 months of working together, but also with only one extra person on the team. That was a team of 10 to start with. So while revenue doubled, the cost of operations virtually changed or hardly changed at all. And so the profits were just significantly better after we did that work together. Not only that, Damien was able to reduce his own work hours because the business now was under control, it was performing effectively, and he didn't have to put out fires anymore. So he was able to cut back to a 4-day work week and work around about 35 hours a week. So he was working the way he wanted to be able to work without the stress, without the firefighting that he was previously putting in, and building a business that was, first of all, on its way to becoming the market leader in what he was doing, but also becoming an asset that was scalable and saleable. So when Damien made those changes, he not only made the changes in what was happening in the business, he made it possible for that business to deliver a greater impact and personally to achieve greater levels of prosperity and freedom. And that's how things work with all of our clients who work with us. Everything I've shared in this video series comes directly from the programs that we use working with our clients. And that starts with our Strategic Authority Marketing Program, which is based on the system I use to be able to scale and sell my 3 consultancy firms. And this program is really beneficial for consultants who are stuck at a revenue level. They're stuck at a revenue plateau, but they want to scale their business. They want to take it to the next level. They don't want to be the operator of the business anymore, where they're running around doing everything to help the business survive. They want to be running a business that works for them instead of them having to be the one that makes it work. It's specifically for consultants who want consistency and predictability around client acquisition, to be able to attract premium level clients that are the most profitable clients for you to work with, that give you a level of certainty about having a foundation in place in your business where you can grow from. Because without that level of consistency and predictability in client acquisition, there's no foundation for growth. It's like shifting sands. You can't grow when you can't have consistency and predictability about the platform that you're building on. And it's really built, or the system, process and the program we have is built for founders, consultants who are ready to step out of the operational aspects of the business on a day-to-day basis, where they want to work on growing a business effectively rather than doing the work that helps that business survive, where they want to be focusing more on the long-term value of the business and building that long-term value than trying to pay the bills at the end of the month. So if that's you and you're interested in looking at how you can install the systems that create freedom and scale in your business, then what I suggest you do is click the link that's below in the description of the video to learn more about the Strategic Authority Marketing Program. Have a look at that, and if it's right for you, let's build a business consultancy firm that gives you the impact, the prosperity, and the freedom that you set out to achieve when you started off.